Hi, I'm Stephanie Dresty. I work here in the Oakcrest Learning Commons, and I've got 7 new books for you to check out this week. Feel free to listen to them straight through or go to the description box to click on the titles that you are interested in hearing more about. Jimmy has never been to a wake before, and he's about to go to his very first one. His cousin Patrick has died, and once they get there, his mom has some even more awful news to deliver. He's going to have to speak at the funeral the next day. And not only is he terrified of public speaking, but he didn't even really like Patrick all that much. Patrick was mean and rude and definitely not somebody that Jimmy would have chosen to be friends with. But as his mother and everybody else keeps reminding him, sometimes you have to suck it up and do things you don't want to do. So he spends the whole wake trying to figure out something nice that he can say about his cousin. And the book alternates between him at the wake thinking about what's happening to back in time during a moment he was actually with Patrick while he was alive. And as he does so, he, and then we as the readers, begin to suspect that there was a little bit more to Patrick than just being a mean kid. It's actually quite a sad book, but a really good one about the importance of truly listening to the messages that people send through their actions. Mia has always felt it's her destiny to become a professional ballerina and follow in the footsteps of her great-great-great-great-grandmother who danced for the Paris Opera. But when she heads for Paris for a 6-week summer program, everything is so much harder than she'd hoped. Her instructor pushes her nearly to her breaking point. She's got a terrible arch rival who will stop at nothing to show her up. But then there's also Luis, who is her instructor's son. And although she's focused on dance, his charm is just undeniable, and she can't help but find herself having fun joining him on his Vespa, letting him show her his beautiful city. The two also get caught up in a very interesting art mystery in which they figure out that some of Mia's family history is connected to a French painter. The fact that it's set in such a fun, beautiful city is my favorite part of this cute romance, and it's great for fans of books like Love and Gelato. This is based on the popular Mars PATEL podcast, and it's a fun science fiction adventure story about 6 friends, one of whom is missing on the very first page. They wouldn't be as concerned if they weren't wary of why all of the adults in the story seem to be intentionally not caring. And then more kids go missing, and a strange billionaire podcaster seems to be giving hints about their location in his podcast. Where did they go? And why? It's a great adventure that's great to listen to or to read. Okay, in a small seaside town called Eeerie-by-the-Sea, Herbert Lemon is the lost and founder of the Nautilus Hotel. If anyone at the hotel loses something, Herbie will find it and keep it safe for him in his lost and foundry that has existed for many a century and houses a miraculous collection of things lost and left behind. And one day when Violet stumbles into the hotel, followed by a very scary man with a hook for a hand, she asks Herbie to help her find her parents, who went missing in a very long wintry night many years ago and actually left her in that very hotel. So the two of them go on a search, which all seems to connect them back to the town's legend of a sea monster named Malamander. And the town is full of really interesting characters that populate this world that I think you'll want to return to in this series. Feels like people you'd want to spend time with, except for the whole sea monster part, that is. This comic is part of the Spider-Man saga. In this one, Miles Morales has seen that even his superpowers couldn't prevent his mother's death or save his father from a very life-changing injury in his battle with Venom. He's convinced that he caused the whole thing. And so in this very emotion-filled decision, he decides he's going to put away the costume and will never fight as Spider-Man again. But when these 2 new superpowered teenagers, Cloak and Dagger, come into town, innocent lives are at stake, and he has to make a choice. It's a job for someone with great powers and great responsibility. So the question becomes, will he do it? This is the latest in the My Hero Academia series, manga series, where about 80% of the population is born with a particular superpower or quirk. but they have to be trained how to use this quirk or else it will kill them. And so they have to all enroll in a special school, so it's very X-Men-like for those of you looking for something similar. This is the 27th in the series and features a huge confrontation between the heroes and the villains of the Paranormal Liberation Front.